That says I'm live.
We're live. Are we live?
It'll be live.
It'll be live.
It's live now.
It's live now.
Ow! Sorry, buddy.
That's all right. I didn't need that shit.
All right, so for those of you tuning in on our YouTube live stream right now, we're still getting kind of set up here, but we couldn't, do everything all at once, so you're just going to have to wait a few minutes. You're going to be privy to some bonus footage.
We're going to be demonetized.
Did you say boner footage?
Boner!
That's it. We just got demonetized.
Did you link to it on the Facebook page?
Not yet.
All right. Wow.
Well, like I said, I'm not done yet. We're not done yet.
Done yet.
We're not even ready.
I have my xenomorph here.
Yeah.
Folks, I'm looking at this beautiful little creature. Put him right there for
Now
now.
I can't drink my water.
Yeah, that's the plan, bud. It's a whiskey podcast, not a water podcast.
Are you kidding me? I thought this was a Wednesday night water committee.
No, not anymore.
I'm out of here.
It's all right. I get it.
Sons of bitches.
Hopefully sponsored by Voss in the future.
Yeah, man.
Could that be a thing?
Oh, wait. We got to...
Gratitude.
I'd like to be sponsored by xenomorphs.
You got
I
it.
have been. It's dangerous.
It's fine. I choose you.
Time to face some strange.
Choose you.
Shout you rock and rollers.
Oh, did we get the whiskey out of the fridge?
No.
No.
Are we gonna drink whiskey today?
Let's get the whiskey.
This is gonna end weirdly because of the camera in front of the door.
Oh no!
That's
Oh, Gino's coming. He's coming in hot.
Oh, Gino's in the house.
Gino came in hot. Things are running a little bit hot tonight. Yeah. Love you too, bud. Yeah.
Guess that means that we can.
Nah, I think
He's gotta go.
he's got it. We love you, man.
Here, I'll trade you whiskey for dog.
He said no.
Gino, say goodbye to the people at home. Come on, bud. It's okay.
I know, buddy.
It's okay, bud. Come on.
Oof.
I know, pal.
Oofda.
Don't go boneless.
Don't go boneless.
Don't go boneless.
Don't go boneless. But try and please me.
Wait, Jay, you gonna tell me how we're doing over there with the cam?
Keep it going, keep it going. Big bucks, no whammies. Stop.
Stop.
I think we'll be good.
Now, the question is, how do we get the viewers at home to look at the back of the chair and still make the pleasant?
That's pretty good right there.
Perfect.
Stay right there.
You do the slow reveal, turn around.
Now, if you could just take your pants off.
I'm gonna keep wanting to look at that, even though that's the camera.
How many minutes do you think it'll take to get YouTube to demonetize this for you?
Pretty quick. I think we're already done.
Demonetize?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there was at one point where we were making
No.
money. Oh, I was gonna say, shit.
No.
First time in a long time.
They're just going to remove the possibility for it ever making money. Never gonna find. I love you just the way you are, Jay.
Thanks, buddy.
I think this episode will be brought to us by William Joel.
My pardon?
William Joel.
Yeah.
Moving out.
Moving up.
Mm.
I'm moving
Guys
up.
moving on up.
And then he's moving on to his New York State of Mind.
That's right. That's right.
So what are we talking about? Witcher?
It's,
whoa, spoilers.
well, always spoiler alert. What the frick?
They've listened to our shows, but cancer.
Did you say cancer? Are we talking about cancer?
No, I'm not talking about cancer. I got the cancer.
What's an idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis?
It's part 3.
That's not cancer?
No.
We'll do the miniatures last.
Miniatures go last.
Okay. Playlist. What are you?
I think we should do
listening to
Defiant,
this week.
then Blackened, then Decanter.
We should do the whiskey last. Stay with me. We'll just drink Voss the whole episode. I'll drink the one you guys got me. Wait.
Oh.
Looks like we're gonna have to do the whiskey first.
Okay. Well,
Never gonna
let's do some
fall.
microphone tests. Looks like we got 2 people on the 3 people watching. Hi, those at home.
You're
So-
good on the microphone test.
This is a microphone test 1 2 1 2.
Microphone test 1, 2.
That's not
3.
how you talk during the podcast. There it is. This is a microphone test.
Ooh,
2. Lay back.
you're getting a little sneak peek into what we do here. Hi.
Usually we're less organized than this.
Yeah.
That's right. Computer's on mute.
I guess I got my show notes.
You found him.
Show enough. I'm not sure if I can do this without show notes. Jay sounds low in the mix.
You're
That's-
good on the microphone test.
This is a microphone test 1 2 1 2.
Microphone test 1, 2.
That's not
3.
how you talk during the podcast. There it is. This is a microphone test. 2. Good.
Good.
Levels.
Good.
Should I
Brandon.
be tilted more towards me, or do you want me to talk louder? I can talk
I don't
loud.
think we'll have any issues with your levels.
Just
the only reason it sounded low is because I hadn't adjusted the gain yet.
Okay.
just bring in the gerbils.
Whenever you guys are ready, I'm ready.
Really?
Get this show on the boat.
Wow. Get this show in the water.
No, show on the boat.
Showing the boat.
That's an Alan Pickerel special.
I'm walking through out of here.
He's slow. He's a slow.
It's a slow burn.
Hey, I'm walking
Oh.
through out of here.
Oh, all
Walking
right.
through out of here. Hey.
Ready?
Yeah,
Get your
let's
show
do it.
notes.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, me either.
Okay.
Yeah, no show notes tonight, boys.
Remember, silence, and then bring it in slow, and then bring it, and then hard and soft. Raise it to on 3, boys. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whiskey.
Whiskey. Mm.
Whiskey.
What's going on, everyone? It's Jay from the Wednesday Night Whiskey Committee here with another exciting episode. I'm going to tell you why it's exciting, because if you haven't been paying attention to our YouTube channel for the last, 5-10 minutes, you'll see that we are live and we are now broadcasting to you in full livid color.
Livid. You meant vivid, but it's fine.
No, I always say livid.
No.
It's just a thing.
Is that like living and vivid?
Kind of. Livid color.
Livid color.
Because why would you not be livid? I'm always livid.
That's great.
Glenn livid.
Glenn Livid.
So let's introduce the committee. Like I said, my name is Jay. With me this evening, on my right, is the magnificent one, the historian, the guy that Egypt would like to hire to catalog all their crap.
That's true.
Where do I get this stuff? The co-host and co-founder, John J. Feathers.
Hello and good evening.
And across from me, as handsome as ever, the white stallion, the pale horse.
The pale horse.
Same
I
difference.
like both, actually.
You like that?
I like White Stallion.
The white stallion, the pale horse, the one and only Michael J. Cavino.
Good evening, everyone.
And if you did not know, he is a co-host and co-founder. If you've been living in a cave for the last 31 episodes, we are on episode 31. We are happy to be here. We're kind of doing this loose leaf again, just like last week. We kind of have an idea this time, but we're
Did
going.
you say loose leaf?
Yeah.
Hold on, loose leaf.
Loose leaf?
Isn't that 38 special?
Yeah.
Well, hold on, loose leaf. And don't let. Let's present arms. I'm still hot, boys. This week I am presenting the Kimber 45 ACP Ultra Carry 2, and as you can see, it is
clear.
it is clear and empty.
Here's a bell.
I am presenting the Dan Weston 44 Magnum, and as you can see,
Get that spin.
Get the
Get
spin,
the spin
on,
on
Cam.
Cam.
Get the
Yeah.
spin on there.
look at that.
YouTube, don't kick us off because we have guns.
Right.
Yeah, try not to, please.
And as usual, I am presenting the Browning High Power Mark III, and as you can see,
It is clear. And I want to mention once again for the folks at home that may not have listened to our last episode. If you hadn't, shame on you.
I know.
But I had mentioned last week that Jason had a nice pipe, and that is still the case. So it's just get over it. It's what it is.
I missed that one, I think.
Yeah. And I want to send out a quick apology. Last week we did film the episode. However, after 3 days of frustration of poor laptop speeds and renderings, I decided that the episode may at some point air. However, it's not going to be anytime soon until we get a severe hardware upgrade. So what we came up with over the course of the last 2 days is the thing that you're now watching at home. We are going to live stream these episodes from now on. I did do a few test runs. Okay. We did do a few test runs. And the videos did show up on our page right after I had finished the live feed. So hopefully there will be just a direct shot to our YouTube page now.
Ding!
Bing! So before we move any further,
Where are your pants?
I didn't wear any tonight.
Okay, that's good.
Figured I'd want to hang brain for the first love.
God. Oh, we already did the guns.
Yeah, we can just keep going.
All right, okay. This week for the meeting, the minutes, much like last week, I don't have a whole lot to go on except for you're now watching it here at home.
Well, this will save, maybe?
From what I understand, it should save.
Cool. Hi, future folks.
Future? Are they watching this in the future?
The future people are.
Wow.
Yeah. For those of you who are just now tuned in months later because you found out we were cool now and weren't hanging with us when we were like struggling, piss
That'll
off.
still be months from
No, that's not true.
No.
We love you. Doesn't matter when you showed up. We appreciate that.
Just so you showed up.
A lot of cool things we're going to do this week. Again, like I said, I really don't have so much any kind of new news to report, so we're just going to move right along and go into the fourth section of the opening, as it's always in the show notes, the presentation of whiskey.
Aren't we going to Patreon and coffee and all that shit?
Sure.
They know it. They know it by now.
Let me do it one more time for the kids at home. I know.
We have new future people.
Guys, we know that you know this by now, but we do have social media. In fact, you're watching it right now on social media. We have a Facebook page. You can check us out there, / Wednesday Night Whiskey. You'll find us if you hit up our Twitter, which is Wed Night Whiskey, our Instagram account, which is Wednesday Night Whiskey. Or is it Wed Night Whiskey?
Wed Night Whiskey.
Yeah, you'll find it. Just search it. You'll see
Wedding
it.
Night Whiskey.
# Wednesday Night Whiskey. We will pop up.
I want to do it, though.
You can check out our YouTube channel, which you're doing right now. For some of you, we can already see there are some folks at home watching us live right now. We appreciate
How do you
that.
see that? Is that number 274?
Really?
No.
5?
Yeah.
Yeah. We like this 5, though.
Yeah, but the listeners at home thought for a second that
We
we
had-
had Big Ten.
There's like 1,000 people. What? No. So
And
we
it's
do have a
4 now.
YouTube page. Some of you are already here. We welcome you. We appreciate you coming in to check out what we do. We also have, if you want some fresh threads, I'm not talking your everyday basic bonehead, you got this at Walmart. If you want some flashy designer threads designed by Mike Cavino, you can go to redbubble.com. Usually once a week, those guys are so upstanding that they give us a promo code that you can get. Are you okay?
I just wanted to be the same level as you guys.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I wanted to.
That's a good job.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So you can go check us out. Get us on. Get some of our swag on redbubble.com /people / Wednesday night or Wed Night Whiskey. Sorry. There's always a link every Monday. Usually they give us a promo code. You can save some cash. Get
You got Ren
Renee and Stimpy.
and Stimpy. So
I love it.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah. That's nice.
So like I said, you can get some of our fresh threads. It's t-shirts. You can get stickers. If you want a wall clock with our logo on it, by God, you can have one. So we're everywhere.
Why don't we have one of those?
That leads us to our next point. We have a Patreon. If you would like us to have more cool swag, why don't you give us a donation per episode? We'd really appreciate that. For those of you who don't know what it is, that is www.patreon.com. That is patreon.com. And you can check us out, / Wednesday Night Whiskey. You will find us. Basically what it is, it's a reoccurring donation per show. You give us, say you want to give us $2 an episode, you will be charged every episode that we post. We will use those funds to go into production costs.
Which is basically once a week.
Yeah, we have expenses. This isn't a free gig, so
Yeah, Jay. I think it was Jay and I were talking earlier that I think right now we have one patron.
Yep, Scott Knoll. Scotty.
Yes, Scott,
Hanging
awesome,
tough.
awesome that you're hanging tough. But even if we could get 2 or 3 more of you guys to sign
That
up,
would make it
it
so
would be
much
huge
easier.
because it doesn't sound like a lot to you, like $1 a week, whatever.
Yeah. But that's the difference between we're trying to get a poster for the back wall again to have our logo on it, so it's on the
Right.
on the show. That'd be cool. That's we had 2 or 3 people giving us $1 an episode every month. That's done.
Yeah.
So
Right.
every little bit helps. We appreciate the.
Is there a minimum on Patreon?
I don't think so. I think it's at least $1.
Okay, that's what.
Yeah, it's at least $1. So we would we appreciate
$4
that.
a month.
Yeah, it's not that bad. You can do it. Quit going to Sheets. Don't buy a pack of cigarettes that week. Give us your money. We appreciate it. There's also a coffee site. That is ko-fi.com. If you search our name, the Wednesday Night Whiskey Committee, you will find us. The coffee is like a one-time donation that equals about $3-4, I think. It's all listed there. You can check that out. And if you want to cut the middleman out altogether, which that's what we really appreciate, we do have a PayPal account if you want to message us and say, guys, we want to give you money. We will give you the address to do that. We would greatly appreciate it if you did. We'll still love you if you don't. That's fine. I mean, Mike might be a little bitter about it.
I 100% will be, yes.
So, but yeah, we have these things. We hope you utilize
We'll love
these
you
things.
more.
You didn't put
We'll
a link to the
definitely
YouTube? Just keep going. I'm going to link it. It's fine.
Link it.
I'm going to. Keep
It's about
going.
time you did
Link it
something.
live.
Bitch. God damn.
Oh, mammy.
Link it
Okay,
live.
let's go right now to the presentation of whiskey.
All right.
Jason, let me interrupt you. Stop right there. So let me preface this by saying, as I'm strolling through our local fine wine and good spirits store, every week is sort of an adventure. It's a challenge. It's calling. What bottle is going to call to me this week? And this week it was this bottle that we're going to discuss. And are you going to mention the oddity? The oddity?
The Space Odyssey. No, wait. What oddity?
The spelling haiku?
Oh, you bet.
Okay. So Jason's gonna take this away and discuss the whiskey for this evening.
The whiskey for this evening is Defiant.
It sure is.
It is American single malt whiskey, spelled WHISKY. There's a reason for that, which we'll hit upon in a minute. Defiant whiskey is owned and operated by the Blue Ridge Distilling Company, Incorporated of North Carolina. It is made from 100% two-row premium brewer's barley and is aged for up to 6 months in stainless tanks using toasted American oak spirals. I was waiting for Michael to jump all over that.
I was posting a link to our YouTube.
Oh, okay. It is aged
That's
for...
what she said. Wait.
It is aged... Listen.
Okay, sorry.
It is aged for up to 6 months in stainless tanks using oak spirals instead of oak barrels. And this technically actually kind of, according to the definitions, does sort of mess with the idea that it's actually an American single malt because there's some stipulations there, but we're going to give them a pass on that. It's bottled at 41% alcohol by volume. Interestingly, when the crew aren't busy making single malt whiskey, they also do salvage diving. To quote from their website, our crew behind the stills are salvage divers by trade, working at the edge of catastrophe at the bottom of the ocean. We run towards certain disaster and change fate with metal, fire, water, and intellect. Our whiskey is created by those same virtues. In diving and in whiskey, greatness is not coincidence. It is cultivated, pushed, practiced, and always evolving. We're rethinking whiskey by taking the best of Scottish tradition and combining it with American ingenuity. And that Scottish tradition is, I'm assuming, why it is WHISKY. We're starting a whiskey revolution, charting a new course on the journey, and we're doing it the Defiant way. Defiant is a new way of distilling. We're not bound by barrels or recipes or tradition. Our guides are the best ingredients, Mother Nature, and our own intuition. We only use 4 ingredients, nothing more. Premium American white oak, toasted to perfection, specially cultured yeast selected by Tim. 2-row premium brewer's barley. Pure water from the Blue Ridge Mountains. We start with quality and end with quality. We're starting a revolution in the whiskey world. Risky world, that's something else. Join us. Whatever those guys are doing. I see it. Take me home. Whatever those guys are doing, they must be doing something okay, because both the single malt and their rye have won a number of awards, including the 2018 silver in the New York World Wine and Spirits Competition and the 2015 bronze in the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, among others. So, having said all that, given a little preface, let's go, buddy. Dig into that whiskey.
Let's do it. Get it right up to the microphone here. Ooh.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
There we go.
Feeling a little defiant tonight?
Nice.
That's a nice color.
It is a very nice color. I took a picture of it for Al, and I sent it to him. And I said, I went with this week. And he was like, it's really dark. I'm like, yeah.
It's an amber.
It's an
The
amber.
picture made it darker than what it was, yeah.
It's got a really sweet nose.
You and your Snapchat filters.
Wow.
Oh, man.
It barely has a nose. At least I'm not catching it.
It's not real strong, but what's there is pretty sweet.
I smell fucking dill bites.
Yeah,
I really do. I think
That's
they got
good.
burned into my nose.
it's good.
I hate that.
It smells like dill pickles. And
Episode 31, boys.
episode 31
31.
to Scott Knoll.
Scott Knoll, thank you
Al
for hitting
Starton.
that Patreon.
And,
Our folks on
all
the-
6 viewers right now.
Hey, we've moved up.
We know-
Cheers, folks.
We know Rick Wirtz is there.
We hope you have a dram at home to join us. Sláinte.
Salud. It's crisp. It's not very complex.
No.
No, it
I'm
dies
not getting
really, really
any
quickly.
complexity. It kind of reminds me of the tin cup as far as the crispness goes.
Yeah, but I think Tin Cup was even a little more.
It
Tin
had a
Cup-
longer finish.
longer-
Yeah,
finish, yeah.
Tin Cup had a little more flavor to it, too.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I'm just talking as far as the way that it didn't really give you any burn.
It's got a little bit of finish. Gets a little woody at the end.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm a little disappointed because it's actually kind of chilled. What we did was I had it in my car all day. I did, and it was a little warm to bring in to get ready for the show. So I wanted to just to get it chilled down just a little bit to get it back to more of a room temperature rather than a warm car temperature. So, but that's
I don't think that affects.
Vanilla. Definitely some vanilla
I'm
in
supposed to
there.
say hi to my father. Like my dad's watching. So.
Oh, let's
Oh, yeah?
toast him.
Jeff
Papa
Cavino.
Cavino.
Yeah.
Papa Cavino.
Cheers, sir. Thanks for the new office.
I don't know what to think about this one, boys.
It's different. Like I can honestly say that I don't know that this would have a mainstay on my shelf.
There's a slight delay, and then it hits you, and then it's done.
Yeah.
Speaking of totally off topic here, for those of you that are watching at home right now, there is a chat. I think if you guys want to hit us with some
way.
with some real time talking here,
There's
we can.
no way.
Oh yeah, that's way. We'll be talking.
Let's do some real time talk.
Yeah, so hit us up with some love. We'll answer you back.
Or we'll just not see it and accidentally ignore you all.
That's true too. We'll probably do that. We shit on everything.
We do. Shit. What do you think about the whiskey, boys?
I've got my rating already.
Really?
Yeah, I really do.
That always scares me when you've already got the rating.
Yeah, well, if you were a member of the Defiant team, you should be scared.
You should be doing a little less salvaging and a little more whiskey making.
I guess.
I don't know if we can salvage this whiskey.
That's what I mean.
It's not bad.
Really?
It's just, I don't think it's bad. I just think it needs.
It's not offensive. It's just not.
No, it just needs more muchness.
I think if it was, I mean, they sort of, when you watch the commercial that they have posted online, they're definitely giving the impression that they're aging it in oak barrels. And you actually see them dropping the spirals into the barrel, which is kind of, I thought, whoa, that's pretty neat. But then I found some other literature online that said it's aged in stainless steel. And I don't know.
I think it shows.
I don't know for sure, but I think if they're not aging it in oak barrels, they probably should.
Should be.
Because there's not a lot of character to it.
Well, they're touting the American oak, but what are they touting? The
spirals or
or the barrels?
I mean, I don't know for sure. It's hard to know.
All right. Well, let's start. I'm anxious. I want you to go.
52.
52?
52.
Wow.
It's up there with the Canadian whiskeys for me.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's doing absolutely nothing for me. Absolutely nothing. Like,
Okay.
I have Lefroy over there, and I may end up getting that for my next pour.
Oh, come on now.
Okay.
60.
60? I've had worse, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had worse.
I don't want to go with my initial gut feeling.
What was your initial gut feeling?
68.
Okay.
Um,
Well, don't change your
no, I'm not going off.
Change.
I'm not going to
William Joel.
try to base it off of your guys' score, but
No.
I was thinking like first initial thoughts were 68. It's not bad. It's not it's not fantastic, but it's not terrible.
Right.
It's not Evans Williams. It's not Jack Daniels.
Right. It's better.
I'd rather have this.
Neither
Than,
one of those would break the top 50.
No.
Jack Daniels scored a whopping like three.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a 66.
Okay.
So, look at Mikey working on the average here. Do you give it it gets a 59 out of 100? Do you recommend this whiskey? And for those of you keeping track at home, this was a $40 bottle.
No.
No recommendation.
That's definitely a no for me.
No for you?
I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Not for $40, and if it doesn't break 70,
And that's one of the things that I thought of whenever I was doing because
Stars?
it's got an attractive 0 stars.
0?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got an attractive bottle.
it's got a great bottle.
The history's nice. The way that they talk about their whiskey is nice, but that's about it. It's all flash.
Well, here's the thing. They talk about being defiant, but there's nothing defiant about this.
Yeah, there's nothing that sets it apart.
Nothing
There's
bold.
nothing that,
Well, we finally hit a whiskey that by price point should not have been garbage.
Right.
That we rated so poorly.
Yeah. What was the average again?
59 out of 100.
We didn't even break 60.
No.
I can't recommend a whiskey, especially a $40 whiskey,
Right.
that doesn't break 60.
Because,
I mean,
again, 10
obviously
cup.
my score kind of pulled the average down, but even still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, you can get a fifth of 10 cup for
$10 less.
for $26, and it's a far more superior whiskey. So,
Yeah.
Defiant, try harder, boys. You're not getting. We're not touting you any longer. I'm sure gonna drink it.
Oh yeah.
But, you know.
If I was going to say something, I would say that. I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm just going by what I read on the net, but I guarantee you this whiskey would be a lot better if it was aged in oak and not just spiral.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, I
they
want to
do.
even go as far as to say is because we've done the oak infusion spiral,
Yeah, but I mean,
and
that's,
now granted that was a rye, not a not a straight
I'm
bourbon.
thinking about the volume.
Think about the surface area of
True.
an entire barrel. You want to take a barrel and throw some spirals in there? Right on.
Right.
And then it's...
It better be a few staves, not spirals.
Right. Well, the other thing, too, is I think it's like pretty much max aged for 6 months. Maybe
Well,
age it a little longer.
You can tell. There's no complexity.
Yeah.
Right. It's got a hint of wood at the end, but it needs a little more complexity to the wood.
Yeah. So, if you see this on the shelf, keep walking. It's not bad, but for the price point, it's not worth it.
Yeah, but it's also a very subjective world. Somebody might love this.
Yeah, of course.
It's true.
We're just talking about the Wednesday night whiskey.
We are by far no certified aficionados.
We're not an authority.
We're not getting paid for this.
Enthusiasts.
We're just our own little private world of whiskey snobs.
Yeah.
I don't really like it.
It's fine.
That much. I'll drink it.
I'm going to keep drinking.
Yeah.
But
who knows? By the end of the night, we're allowed to change our... I might be like, give that fucker a 99.
I doubt it. I don't think we're going to get that high.
Just transformed into the bottle of Lagavulin.
What?
It's Lagavulin.
Look at the head on that thing.
Yeah.
So let's move. We'll put this the whiskey swill away here.
Speaking of aging whiskeys,
Oh boy, what do we got?
I think we should talk about Blackened.
I think we should. And let me again always preface by saying this whiskey has come into our peripheral vision about 5 to 6 times now. I've had people
over the last couple months.
I've had some very faithful whisketeers send me the links to this and be like, did you guys hear about this? Did you check it out? And I think we've even mentioned it maybe once or twice on the show so far, but we're going to give it the official rundown. Now, at this stage in the game, it's still pretty hard to find.
Well, I did see
it
it for
released?
sale. I did see it for sale online, yes.
Okay.
I did.
So it is available, just not in our area, but we're going to
be able to. I don't think you'd be able to get it in Pennsylvania.
Not yet. Stuff
ordering
has
it
to be
online.
Yeah,
because
I've asked our local
garbage.
wine and spirit stores, couple locations at a couple different times, and it has been unavailable.
Okay.
To us. So, well, what we're talking about is Blackened. You may have heard some internet scuttlebutt, and yes, you've heard right. Metallica have partnered with partner, master distiller extraordinaire Dave Pickerel.
Master distiller. Bum. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. Look, I didn't throw any Metallica.
I know. That's
here.
Fine. That's fine.
Maybe I did. A chemical engineer who has revolutionized the distilling process with techniques like Solera aging and triple finishing. He experienced the power of sound waves during his time as a student and then a professor of chemistry at West Point, home to the world's largest church organ.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I have to interrupt you. Rick Wirtz, I will not stop stroking my beard. It's what I do. You got 2 men with manly beards here.
What the fuck?
It's going to be stroked. He texted me. He's told me to quit stroking my beard.
Well, you said 2 men with manly beards. Mine's fine.
Maybe he meant you and not me.
It's true. He is kind of scraggly down there at the bottom.
1 manly beard, 1 little girly beard, and
What?
then this little bitch beard.
Anyway, sorry.
Dave Pickerel experienced the power of Pickerel.
All right.
Pickerel. He experienced the power of sound waves during his time as a student and then a professor of chemistry at West Point, home to the world's largest church organ. When the lowest note would reverberate through the halls, the whole building would tremble, and, quote, it would really shake your guts, Dave says. With that in mind, Blackened isn't just the name of a song on Injustice for All. Now on the bottle, it literally helps to shape the flavor. It's a blend of bourbons, ryes, and whiskeys from all across North America, carefully selected by Mr. Pickerel himself. It's hosed. They hose it.
Did you just hose it?
Fucking hose it.
You fucking hosed it.
They house it.
It's Canadian.
It's Canadian. They house it in black brandy barrels, and then they actually inundate it. What the hell are you doing?
My legs hurt.
because he's been running through my head all day.
Oh, I thought.
And then they inundate the barrels with low hertz sound waves so intense it actually enhances the molecular interaction and ultimately the finish of the whiskey. So this is a pretty crazy idea. We've talked a lot about the agitation of the barrels.
As we speak, we are still conducting the science.
We're still conducting an experiment.
The science experiment part.
So what they're doing with this now, it's a blend, and Mr. Pickerel picks out the blend. They put it in black brandy barrels, and then they use sound waves to agitate it.
Good idea.
In the process of this, they've also partnered with Myers Sound, which is a company that makes a proprietary subwoofer that amplifies the low-frequency sound waves. So they adapted their technology for sonic enhancement using a patent-pending process. It just so happens that the low-frequency range needed for Dave's vision was the range that you also get in Metallica's music.
It really opens it up.
Does it?
Give it a 99. No,
No!
they call this sonic enhancement black noise, and they actually make Metallica playlists to shape the flavor of the whiskey. So it's a novel idea. It might all be hype, but I'm pretty intrigued by the idea.
It's a cool idea
Yeah.
to agitate by sound.
It's really cool idea. And if you're going to agitate it with Metallica, that's way cool.
Yeah.
So
I'm just curious how much of it is a gimmick.
me too. And I guess
Well, I'm actually glad that you said that it was a playlist of Metallica.
yeah, it's not
And
just
not,
black.
not just black and
I was thinking,
all day, every day.
Could you imagine what it would? Did you open me up?
I didn't.
Okay. Can you imagine what it would mean? Whoa, that was a lot.
Easy
Little
now.
much, bud.
Yeah, that was a little much. Can you imagine what it would be like to work in that warehouse?
If it was
If
just
it was
Blackened.
just black and all 24/7.
Blackened is the
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I did see it selling online already. It was in that $45 a bottle price range. And Segway J is going to love this. Are you ready? I also saw it selling as part of a set with a custom decanter for $75.
Speaking of segues, I'm here to train wreck your segue.
Oh, boy.
I did real quick just want to talk about the Game of Thrones
Yes, you should.
scotches that are coming out. So, okay. I posted a link on the Facebook earlier, but there's going to be 7.
That totally helps, by the way.
It does.
Yeah,
It does open
It
it up
does.
a little bit.
7 Game of Thrones scotches released for the final season of the show. So there's 7,
this is the final season?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there's 7 different distilleries that are getting in on that. Dalwhinnie.
They're all Diageo's,
the,
right?
the same thing.
Diageo's whiskeys. They're like the classic malts collection.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe that's who kind of got the ball rolling. Cardew, Lagavulin.
Are we going to mention those bastards at Johnny Walker?
I wasn't going to, but we can.
We
I
should.
think we should.
Johnny Walker. Real quick before I finish the list, I guess Johnny Walker got in on it, and they're making the White Walker, which is
Right.
it's like a
Which is
entity,
blended.
an entity in Game of Thrones, but they're getting in on that, and they're doing their Johnny Walker White Walker blended
Right.
for the same thing, but it's not part of this promotion.
Right.
So that's another one. It's going to be, I think the MSRP on that's going to be about $40 a bottle. So I may check it out. Probably not. Not a huge fan of the blended,
You're not
especially if I
going
could get
to.
one of these for the same
I'm
price.
telling you right now, you're not going.
You're right. So yeah, Lagavulin, Talisker, Royal Lochnagar, Clinish. Is that right? Clonelish, and Oban. Those are the 7 distilleries that are.
Which
gonna
every one of those, is, I got to say, is a good
be
whiskey.
very excited about it.
Dalwhinnie. is
If
on
you
there.
check out the link that I posted, they have kind of brief descriptions on how these individual distilleries relate to those houses in Game of Thrones, but also the flavor profile of those scotches. So it's really awesome to check it out. And as a huge fan of the books and this show, I'm super excited. I plan on picking up at least the Lagavulin.
I don't know if he's watching right now. And I'm not going to name drop who it is, but we all know who it is. I just got a message that says there's a gentleman in our Whisketeer group who is already trying to get us a bottle of Blackened.
I love that man.
You know who I'm talking
I
about.
totally know who
Yeah.
that is.
So we're not going to name drop just in the event that we're not allowed to do
But we'll
so.
toast you.
Yeah.
He just said, yes, I'm watching. So this one's for you. Unnamed sir, you know who you are. We appreciate it. So this is pretty cool to have live interaction right now.
Yeah.
We're getting text messages back and forth like, good job, this is great.
Yeah. I do think getting a hold of a bottle of that would be fantastic.
Yeah, it would be nice.
I mean,
cool. Yeah, and like I said, those Game of Thrones ones sound cool. I'll be picking up at least one bottle. It'll be a nice novelty to have, but also, like you were saying, they're amazing distilleries.
everyone.
Yeah.
The Lagavulin, the one I'll be picking up, it's a 9-year.
And it's
So-
Lannister.
Yeah. And
Which is just, I mean, I get it. I get the connection. It's just funny because I'm really not a Lannister man.
I've done one of those. Well, I've done several of those. Like, which
Yeah.
house are you?
Me too.
Every single one's been Lannister.
I'm usually Stark.
I did that once too, and I ended up in Slytherin.
That's not Game of Thrones.
Oh, no?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Shit.
Who were you listening to when you did it?
ICP.
I was slinging Fagos, mother. Whoop, whoop. No.
So let's segue into Jay now. Sorry.
What are we doing?
I was just derailing because I wanted to talk about this Game of Thrones scotches,
Oh,
and I'm super excited.
hold
Yeah,
on.
I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to
Let me
read
see
it.
the last line again. Are you ready?
Okay, yeah, we'll
You
go
ready?
back.
We're gonna just... Speaking of Blackened,
Yes.
what I saw it selling for online was $45 a bottle on the price range, or you can get it as a set with a custom decanter for $75.
Nice. I like where
Speaking of decanter, have you guys heard of Decatur, Illinois? We should talk about Decatur, Illinois.
Yo, Illinois, what's up?
Right.
I don't even know. We just felt like we should talk about this. There's been a lot. Yeah,
All right.
that's Mike's favorite
How dare
Swedish
you? I'll
Norwegian
put a clip in
band.
this right
Right.
now.
A Norwegian band.
Right.
God
I
hate.
thought it
What
was
are they called?
Death Heaven. I'm not sure.
Same thing.
Jesus. Look at Gino.
Gino's not the bad one. So we've had a lot of people. This kind of comes along with a multi-level sort of discussion topic.
You say it's Al.
Well, no, it's Al. It's some. I got into this whole started
Al
with.
better be one of those people.
He'd better be. Well, Al, why aren't you
We're all
manning this
pointing to
camera?
different places.
Because the camera's here, but we're all watching here. That's where. See where I'm pointing? Right there. That's where the laptop is. Here's the camera. There's the laptop. So we all keep looking at that when we should be looking at this. It's this way. But
This has to be unbearable for the people just listening at home.
you need to enhance your calm and watch our live streams. Is
Right.
basically what
I
we're,
appreciate
what we're
you
saying.
listening to me.
Right.
But Al posted a few pictures as far as, decanters. He threw in some Star Wars humor. It was a stormtrooper helmet, and he's like, hey, is this hit or miss? And we're like, I saw what you did there. But what I really wanted to talk about it was because I got into an argument on Reddit about...
Home of the best arguments.
It really is.
Yeah.
I had someone on Reddit in the whiskey subreddit posted a. It does make it. Posted. They're like, "What is the first dram that you have the same as the last dram that you have?" And it's a really heavy-weighted, either-sided question. And I responded with, "It should be the same because whiskey does not age once it is outside the barrel. Barring, and I said, provided that it is not tampered with,
Oak spirals. Or...
whatever." And
Anything.
someone came back
Right.
to me and they said, "Well, I disagree because if you were to pour a shot out or a dram out and leave it out overnight, it's not going to taste the same as when you poured it." And I wrote back with, "This is the exact definition of tampering with the whiskey. You're purposely,
oxidized.
you're
Right.
purposely
Sure.
setting it up for this." And then I had a few other people chime in. They're like, "Well, I work for a science lab, and we, and all this other stuff."
Science.
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 It'll never catch on. So it kind of, and then somebody else brought up the idea of Well, once whiskey gets to a certain level in a bottle, you're supposed to remove it from the giant bottle where there's a lot of dead air and move it into a smaller decanter.
Right.
Or another small bottle to cut down on the oxidization, the oxygen that is left in a bottle once it starts to lose volume.
Well, I mean, what's the great irony there is the reason for a decanter is really more for wine than whiskey. It's to provide a little bit of oxidization.
To provide more, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of hilarious in the fact that with wine, and Mike knows way more about wine than what we do.
Real nice.
He's Italian.
I didn't mean because you were Italian. You racist bastard.
Yeah, that's really nice.
No, it's more about his time working in a restaurant chain where he had to be knowledgeable about the particular wines. And you have to let some wines breathe. Absolutely.
There's just so many different factors in wine. Like, you bruise it the minute you open it if you open it wrong. So
right.
It's just so much more fickle than whiskey. So, and it's one of those things where it's like you were saying in the discussion on Reddit that according to everything we know about whiskey, the answer should be no.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been times even on the cast that Jay said, you know what, I sat down with another glass of this Larceny. I didn't like it the second time.
Right.
And so what is that? Does that have anything to do with the fact that maybe we need to dump this into a decanter when we're done with it? Or
I think there's how microscopically do you want to get involved too? I mean, technically, really, because of the dissolved particles and because of the chemicals involved, literally no two sips are exactly the same.
Sure.
Right. And that was my first big response was, it's not so much to do with the whiskey, but as to the drinker.
Right.
Like, what did you eat that day? What did you
have?
have?
Literally just talking about the whiskey component. I mean, it is
right.
It's a dissolved, suspension. So you're going to catch different with every pour. You're going to literally catch a little more of this or a little more of that.
And a good whiskey should be complex. You don't want I wouldn't want the same sip out of every pull I take from anything. Like, you want the complexity. I mean,
that's a well whiskey.
Yeah, that's
why people do shots.
Right.
Yeah, if you're looking to get drunk, then by all means drink your Jack Daniels, drink your Jim Beams and Evans Williams and the big gigantic canister that you can get for way cheaper than fuel.
Handle.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what it's there for. I want to get drunk. Well, this is your stuff then. You don't care about it. We care about whiskey. We want to have the taste. We want to have the experience. It's a journey. Every week with every time I walk into a fine wine and good spirit store, I said this earlier, can I help you? And I said, nope. It's all about the journey. It's looking at each bottle, having it speak to me.
God damn, Jay, I'm going to cry.
Well, no, I'm serious. Like, I had exceptional.
My eyes are going to piss to you.
I had exceptional high hopes for this whiskey because everything about this bottle just yelled at me.
It is.
It's a very elegant. Yeah, with the water, it's way better. It's a very elegant bottle. I love that it's like a parchment feel paper.
Kind of fond
you like that?
I like that.
I'm getting rock hard right now.
You're getting defiant.
That now we've discovered the meaning.
That's right.
And especially because the whiskey thing is what the spelling of whiskey is what really caught me.
Well, let's talk about that for a second.
That bums me out.
They claim literally. I mean, their claim on their website is that. Let me find it again here. They're taking the best of Scottish tradition and combining it with American ingenuity. And
they failed.
I have a feeling that's why my grade was pretty low. On
yeah.
That.
Yeah.
I don't get much of
on
the
Scottish shoulders of giants.
I do not get much of the Scottish tradition out of this.
No, I don't get anything.
That's not to say there's not shitty scotches. There are.
The McClellan's we had at Gatehouse was better than this.
Absolutely.
That was like Walmart.
Yeah.
Again, and everyone, they're like, you like Dewar's? I said, no, I don't particularly like Dewar's.
Right.
But if that's the only
Right.
Scotch in the house,
Right.
I'm going to drink Dewar's.
Right.
Right. So it's just one of those, the elegance of this bottle is what caught me.
It is ergonomic.
Then the spelling, because you know what it reminded me of? It's my beard here. It reminded me of the Suntory Toki. It's that parchment feel paper.
Yeah, but I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, trust me, I would much rather have Suntory too. Hey, Beam.
Let's go back.
I know.
We just had that guy from Beeman.
Yeah.
In the store we should have told him.
On a total side note, we're still going through the Maker's Mark. I don't know. Do we call it a debacle at this
It's more
point?
of a process.
It's a process.
Yeah,
it's due
not a
process.
debacle.
We got a bad bottle of. We felt it was a bad bottle of Maker's Mark. It is yet to be proven to us that it was bad.
No,
Well,
we got a bad bottle.
we did.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that a lot of the length of this would happen to do with the fact that they're testing to see which barrel it came from, and they're probably getting a hold of every.
The one thing that I could
distributor.
definitely say that I learned a lot from Mr. Nixon on that podcast is, I mean, Maker's Mark are way more serious about.
No, they're absolutely serious.
I mean, they're for real.
In one afternoon, I sent the email. I said, "Hey, I think we got a bad bottle." Boom. They were like, "What do you mean?"
Right.
Give us details.
Right.
And then they wanted specifics. They laser etch into each bottle a code number.
Right.
So they can identify it with, I'm going to assume where it came from, what batch, what barrel, that kind of deal. And they said, do you have the bottle? I said, yes. They said, we're sending somebody to come get it.
And she came in a hazmat suit.
She was not in a hazmat suit.
I know. I just really wanted her to.
I know. It would have been so much cooler. Like,
right.
do you have the Maker's Mark whiskey? Are you Darth Vader?
I am your butler.
No, but so yeah, they came and collected it.
Did you say I'm your bottler?
Yes.
No, that's impossible.
You know, and we're just waiting to hear back from them at this point to find out what happened. But as Mike said, a dude was cruising through the store wearing a Maker's Mark shirt, and I went, "Do you work for Makers?" And he goes, "Yeah." And we're like, "Oh, cool. We've had this problem."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What are you talking about?" So we told him what happened, and I'm all business. And Mike's like, "Have you heard of our podcast?"
This was at the store?
Yeah, it's the Emporium.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
She's like, you owe me $475, and I'm like, hey, excuse me, while I've got you here, could you please listen
Could
to
you
our
listen
podcast?
to our podcast? Let's throw it up to that guy. That's got a buzz. What was that?
There was another a current event going on that I wanted to touch on briefly.
We haven't finished Decanters.
Can we be done with it? Because I was
We're
bored.
not done.
Are you bored, bud?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the deal. To wrap up.
This is the deal.
This is to wrap up
This is
multiple
the
things.
deal.
This is the final. Okay, hey. I actually pulled one guy from Reddit already who said, "Oh, you have a whiskey podcast? What is it?" Boom. So in the thing, he said, "You've got a new follower."
That's awesome.
So
Here's the thing about.
let's toast that guy right now.
Let's toast that guy right
I don't
away.
know what that guy's name is right now because I
Could be one of the 6.
He might be 7. We're back up to 7.
Here's the deal about Decanters and whiskey. Let's toast this.
Yeah, let's toast the new follower. Toast it again.
Toast it again. Drink more
Your word's
Defiant.
not
It'll make you
good.
defiant. Basic deal on whiskey and decanters is this.
Go ahead, lay it down. Lay it down heavy.
It is useless as far as aging or affecting the taste of the whiskey.
Yes.
It is awesome.
Fact.
It is awesome if you want to look like a pretentious prick.
Fact.
And if you want to, if you want to look as if you are
Businessman,
as if you are sophisticated.
I'm out.
Yeah, but it's cool. Just don't get leaded crystal. It'll fuck you up. A lot of old decanters.
We're earning that E tonight, boy.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. A lot of old decanters were lead crystal.
Okay.
You don't want to keep your whiskey in that because if you keep it in long enough, the lead will leach into the whiskey and that it'll screw you up.
Can I hit you with totally unrelated trivia?
Damn right.
Totally unrelated. It's not even the same topic, but kind of.
Yes.
And I think we've discussed this before, but I'm going to turn it over to you. Do you know why the Mad Hatter was mad?
yeah, because of Mercury.
Because
in
of
the hat.
mercury in the hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of, all right, well then fine.
You want a decanter with a good seal because you don't want it to oxidize.
You talking like baby seals or
Another one.
You club them.
you club them first?
Yes. Yeah. If you're going to the club.
Speaking of the Mad Hatters, I was told another trivia fact, which was radium in watches. Did you guys hear about that?
No.
Apparently, they used to use this is one of the viewers knows the story because that's where I learned it from. So,
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. Let's raise that glass.
I'm empty.
Who's Defiant?
sorry.
Are you blushing?
No.
He is.
He's not blushing.
Look
You're
at this.
blushing.
He's blushing.
So they used to the radium in a powder. They used to make it into a paste kind of and put it into watch faces that would make the watches glow.
Whoa.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which was kind of a cool new feature in like the early days of
Yeah.
watches.
Right.
And I don't know if you've ever painted anything, but I guess the watchmakers every once in a while they would lick their brushes
Yeah.
and things like that.
This fucker just asked if I've ever painted anything.
Well, we're kind of segueing into my next topic.
Apparently,
here,
we're
is
cavemen.
Is what we're doing.
I mean,
carved rock on wall.
Speaking of painting miniatures.
thank you.
Oh!
Damn.
Segue
Anyway,
show.
just real quick, back to the watches. Obviously, the watchmakers would die from this, but I guess whenever they would get buried, every once in a while, there would be a glowing from the soil because
Nice.
of the ingestion of the radium.
Put me down for radium.
I think it was the thing about the squids and their brains.
No, that's not.
They
the
could
thing.
get
And the,
brain
and,
damage.
and
This
the
was
false
the-
shark teeth
Yeah.
with the fake. You have any fake facts tonight?
I didn't do any.
Can you just make one up?
Sure.
I think
Okay,
he did. I think he just did. I'm going to go true.
Okay.
It is absolutely
I'm going to
true.
go with that
You
one.
win.
False.
Absolutely true.
You did it. Okay, so that's my segue into miniatures. So speaking of painting miniatures,
Huh?
Yeah. We're going to have to toast this fella.
Yeah.
Bruce, I want to let you pronounce. Is it
Pronounce it.
Seyfried? Seyfried?
Well, in German, when two vowels go walking, the second one does the talking. So it's Seyfried.
Seyfried, that's what I was leaning towards. Known as Uncle Duke, he was involved in
Uncle Duke.
organizing
Uncle Duke.
some of the first wargaming gatherings and newsletters. Before having a hand in the emergence of Dungeons and Dragons and the role-playing genre of the 1970s.
Can you say that again?
He said
Genre.
Genre Bacard.
Jean Van Damme.
And then he became executive vice president of TSR.
This is serious shit.
We are serious.
Don't shit on everything, Jay.
Should I start over?
Please.
Go ahead.
No,
Hi,
that's
this
fine.
is Michael.
I
Have
liked
you met
it better
him?
when
Mike
Jay
has-
was on
he's
his phone the whole time.
Mike has important
Fine,
shit
I'll
to
go
say.
back on my phone.
Whenever I was telling my goddamn Hollywood story, Jay was nothing but silent.
This is serious.
Al's a prick.
Hey, I'm going to say this. This honestly touches my
It
heart.
really
This is
does. It
serious.
hits close to home here, too.
It does. It does.
So Uncle Duke was involved with organizing some of the first wargaming gatherings and newsletters before having a hand in the emergence of Dungeons and Dragons and the role-playing genre in the 1970s. And then he became the executive vice president of TSR, which was Tactical Studies Roles, which was the company that used to own Dungeons
TSR.
and Dragons.
Yeah.
So before
When it was best.
yeah, before it was
Wizards of the Coast, whatever.
So
still owns it.
Yes.
yeah, still Wizards. So Uncle Duke was widely credited with coining the term adventure gaming and bringing together historical and fantasy gaming on the tabletop. He was ultimately inducted into the Academy of Adventure Gaming Arts and Design Origins
That's
Hall
a
of
shit.
Fame. Yeah, I mean that's his baby.
Yeah.
By the organization built on his phrase in recognition of his influence and impact in the hobby. The Historical Miniatures Gaming Society honored him in 2010 with a Lifetime Achievement Award, as well as renaming its Game Master of the Year Award to the Duke Seyfried Game Master of the Year Award the same year. The same year, he announced his retirement from hosting events due to a diagnosis of idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis 5 years before and his declining health. Obviously the reason we're talking about this is because he passed away.
He passed away.
The 29th, he passed away as a result of the idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. But the reason why it hits kind of close to home for me is because he was basically credited for creating some of the first widely available miniatures for the tabletop.
Because we're flipping nerds.
yeah.
That's why it's.
And he would design dioramas for D&D, and without him, you wouldn't have games like Warhammer,
Right.
which was a big part of my life, which was miniature gaming,
Yeah.
and even the miniatures used in Dungeons and Dragons. He kind of started that whole trend,
Yeah.
and now that's a whole subgenre of adventure
Absolutely.
gaming. So
You know, I mean, having done a lot of tabletop gaming in my life, there's certainly a certain mystique and a certain aesthetic to. I'm just gonna grab some graph paper and I'm gonna let it unfold in my head.
Sure.
But there's a whole new life that it takes whenever you actually have some miniatures and take the time. You put a little. First of all, you take the time to put some effort into trying to make those miniatures look as good as you can.
Yeah, I mean,
But it
Alan,
really
who's
does
been on
open
the
stuff
show,
up.
was a professional miniature painter.
Right.
That's
And
what he
we've
did
got,
for a living.
we went over to Tim's. Look at all the great
Yeah.
work he's done.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Rock Piper
Speed
extraordinaire.
Ah, you bloody head man. Speaking of Tim Gatehouse.
Yes.
Yes.
As we do that, we need to definitely toast Uncle Duke.
Uncle Duke. Because this kind of ties in. We're just the segue machine tonight. I was talking today with Tim Gatehouse. If you remember episode 10, we were guests at Timmy's
How
shop.
does he recall exactly which episode?
What is up with that?
I'm a machine, man.
You are, dude.
I am the machine.
What did we do on episode 7?
5 was Boondocks. 7, someone double check me. I think 7
No.
was Survival Canada.
That's
Can
what I
you do
thought
this?
too. Yeah, go. Give me a number.
19.
19 was the one where we did the house on the deserted island.
You're full of shit.
Yep, I am.
No, I want to check and see if I'm right. But anyway, Tim.
Jesus.
I know he's gonna kill me.
Jesus.
Look at the head on that one.
It's a virtual planetoid.
It's got this own.
It's like an orange on a toothpick.
An orange on a toothpick.
How does he sleep at night? Probably on his giant pillow.
This has no reflection on Mr. Gato.
No, he messaged me today and he said, I was wrong. Episode 7 was the Whiskey
In
Rebellion.
19.
19.
How did I not know that?
19 was. Episode 19 was things you didn't know about. This was the 4th of July
That's
episode.
what I told you.
Yeah, it was totally what you told me.
Mhm.
He was like, "Hey guys, thanks for the shout out last week about him winning second in the P-Brock competition, and he wants us to get together in this month of October for he thought it would be like a 3-night thing."
This sounds pretty rad.
Yeah.
I'm super in, yeah.
I'm ready to
He
go
wants us to
insane.
get together for 3 nights to do a Call of Cthulhu board game, or I don't know what is it,
Role
role
playing.
playing night, and
Ready to roll for sanity.
we're stoked as shit.
Yeah.
We're not going to turn it into episodes, so to speak. It will be live on the YouTube box. If you want to watch nerds play games, you can check it out here. But yeah, Tim, we're absolutely excited to do that. We can't wait. So
Anytime you can get over to Gatehouse Games is a good time.
I think you absolutely should.
Right.
Oh man, my feet are falling asleep. This is awesome.
Why don't you just stand up again and do your thing?
Yeah, that was weird. It's weird. I like how it's just his dick
It's just his crotch.
right there. Oh, touched it.
Anywho,
Speaking of Witcher news,
speaking of things that make absolutely
well,
zero.
did we toast Uncle Duke? I don't remember.
We
if
did.
but
Let's
let's
do
do
it
it again.
Let's do it
Yeah.
again. He deserves the
Uncle
toast.
Duke. He does.
Uncle Duke.
He does. He deserves definitely.
It was like I was saying, it's just a huge impact in my life. He's no Gary Gygax, but at the same time, it's a pretty
Yeah,
big
but
loss
man,
for
Gary
the community.
Gygax, as awesome as he was built as a composite of other people behind him, helping him.
Right. He just pushed it to the
Sir
forefront.
Duke was one of them. May he not become a lich.
I hope not. Could you imagine, though?
I'd probably be a badass
I
lich.
guess
though.
you're right. Well, speaking of The Witcher,
Speaking of the licher,
I am Michael.
No, we got some.
we do.
As you know, the last few episodes we've been talking about the new Netflix series original that's going to be called The Witcher, which is based off of a book series that was turned into a widely popular video game series. And we
We're
actually,
setting that up so good.
I know, and we actually have some news. This doesn't concern the Netflix original. However, it does.
I'm sure it's related. though.
Yeah, it's
Behind the
totally retroactive.
Okay, so yeah, in some Witcher news, So the author of the Witcher series, and please forgive me, I'm not going to say this right. Andrzej Sapkowski. Last name's not too hard. My Polish, it's not so good. At any rate, on Monday, he served CD Projekt Red, he and his lawyers, with a notice that he's seeking $16 million in copyright royalties.
$16 million?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
He's seeking $16 million in copyright royalties from CD Projekt Red, who, as you guys know, are the developer of the Witcher game series. Now, Sapkowski's novels are undeniably the basis for that whole game series. But apparently when he was first approached, CD Projekt Red approached him with this idea. We want to develop some games based upon your novels.
And up until that point, they were relatively unknown.
Up until that point, they were completely unknown.
Right.
Really.
Right. Outside of Iceland or wherever.
Poland.
Poland, yeah.
Yeah, it's a land.
Well, either way, it doesn't, like, he fucked up. That's what happened.
Well, here's what happened. So they approached him, and they offered him, I guess, a couple of different deals. One of which included royalties on the sale of the games. And he thought that, I mean, he's quoted at that time. There's quotes at that time where he thought there would be zero profit from this. He thought it was just completely unprofitable. He wanted a lump sum, which he got at the time, which in today's money, American dollars, is about the equivalent of $9,500. That's what he got. He gave them all the rights to develop it.
Wow.
For $9,500.
He's an idiot. And he's trying to, like...
So, fast forward to 2018, The Witcher is hugely successful. It has...
That's an understatement.
Yeah, it is... Christ, you bought a copy.
That's how you know.
Right. It is...
Oh, thanks.
It is...
Here,
You are the barometer for cultural popularity. I just want you to know that.
I have no idea what that means, but it sounds fantastic. Thank you.
Is that a good thing?
Well, you just finished Firefly, so... Don't look at that.
So at any rate, I mean, we now have a Netflix series spinning off.
Which he will get royalties for.
Well,
that.
I mean, I have no idea. That hasn't been released what his particular deal with Netflix is. I'm sure that he got something out of that, though.
Oh, he had to have.
He had to.
There's no way that he can't.
Now, there's a particular article under Polish copyright law, and believe me, I am no Polish copyright lawyer, but as I read it, it's, I believe, I could be wrong here too, I believe it's section 44, which basically states something to the effect that if somebody sells off their rights for a pittance and it just happens to be insanely successful, you can go back and repetition for redress for a renegotiation of sums. So under Polish copyright law, it does seem to be pretty cut and dry that he's gonna get something. Now CD Projekt Red have been very forthcoming. There was like a hint of some weirdo like blackmail shit in Sapkowski's thing where he was basically like, hey, if you don't want to make a big deal out of this, we can settle. It was almost like a threatening undertone to it. He's going on the record
Like daring them to do
yeah.
it.
He is basically going on the record too, is basically saying that he has no interest in video gaming. He doesn't think it's a great medium. So he's not real supportive of that. But CD Projekt Red have been very forthcoming. They went transparent immediately. They said like, hey, here's the deal. This is pretty much what we settled for at the outset. He gave us all the rights. Here's pretty much what it was worth to him. And they basically also said this. I like this. They said, pretty much we're going to make sure he's compensated. And we're going to be pretty transparent about the way that it goes. So dude's going to get something.
Good on them, but how much money have they made him just on his book sales?
Well, see, here's what I was going to say. I would love to tell you that I'm like super hip and got into the Witcher novels because I'm just super cool and got into the Witcher novels.
No.
I would not have read any of the Witcher novels if it weren't for the video games. I'm usually pretty cool, ear to the ground as far as that kind of shit goes. This is one particular instance where, you know what?
No idea. Yeah.
I knew about the video games long before I ever touched a novel.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing too, man. The video games were done so well that that's what made me want. I mean, if they had taken the video games and just
Botched it.
I'd have been like, well, who wants to read this garbage?
Right.
But they were so good, so interesting. The story was so good. I was like, well, I fell in love with those characters. I have to do it. So, I mean, that's the latest Witcher news. Sapkowski's going to get something, I'm sure. CD Projekt Red are going to take care of him. I think it's, I mean...
So you texted me notes too?
No.
No.
What did he say?
He said, you need to get down on our level.
Down what?
He's like, you guys need to get on the same plane. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
That's because we ain't on the same plane. But at any rate...
I like having a director.
I know, right?
Good. So that's what, that's the latest news. Sapkowski's going to get something. I don't even know how justified that is. According to the Polish law, it's probably going to happen. CD Projekt Red seem to be pretty damn forthcoming about it, and they seem like they're going to take care of them.
That's awesome.
That's just the latest thing that's happening.
Yeah.
I've heard they're great people, so
Yeah.
it's a bummer it's a bummer that they're kind of being shaken down at this point, but
It's weird that they're being shaken down by the dude that they pretty much made famous.
right. Well, then again, the hand that he
If that's Polish copyright law, though, he's within his rights
He's
to
within
do
his
so.
rights, right? Exactly.
Which, as far as I would understand, in the States, that would just be absurd.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
And also look at the fact, like I just said, man. I mean, I know a lot of people who bought some Witcher books because of video games.
right.
It's not like they didn't help them. That would be like Diamond Head suing Metallica. You know what I mean? For like covering all their songs. Like, nah, they sold a few Diamond Head records, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Am I evil?
Speaking of what am I listening to?
Wow! Right.
Yeah, so I think that pretty much effectively, that's kind of all that we wanted to talk about this week. What?
I thought we were putting a cork in the episode.
You're feeling
Close. Hold on.
I don't want any more of this.
All right.
Wow, Mike does not like
He
this.
hates it. Mike hates everything.
Mike hates
I
everything.
don't hate all the things.
I don't.
way back when, back in January, several months ago, Mike said, you know what would be a cool segment to have on our show? And in that stage, we were still listening to him. And we were like, what?
Was that our first mistake? Listening to Mike.
Nah.
No? Okay. He is handsome.
He is handsome.
It feels bad in here.
And he rides a pale horse.
He does ride a pale
He's
horse.
the white stallion.
The Italian white stallion.
No, I didn't say that.
He decided that we should do What Are You Listening To this week? And what we basically do is we tell you what we've been listening to this week. It's deep, I know, right?
It's fairly self-explanatory.
It is. It's just very.
Hey, what are you listening to this
Right.
week? Right.
You might have different water cooler conversation. Our water cooler pretty much runs 24/7 with what we do. We are musicians. We are artists.
We work in a music store that sells boots.
Well, we can't be perfect.
A new Transacoustic came in. You guys play it?
Yes, I played it today. It reminds me of the first one.
Did you feel the gauge on the strings?
I loved it.
Oh my god.
It's
Rick and I were like, Jesus, what are these 13s?
How about that stupid FA 125?
Right? I'm surprised
Did you
it's
play
not
that
here.
thing?
No.
Dude, he
Jeez.
brought me this guitar today. It's like, I mean, it's a
$150
cheap
bucks.
$150
Something.
Fender.
Really?
$200, and it's got some of the best action of any Fender I've
It's
ever pulled out of the box.
All right.
Freaking crazy.
Show me tomorrow.
I will.
Okay, cool. So what we do?
That's called talking shop.
Yeah.
Shop and talk.
Yeah. What we do is we give you what we're listening to this week. However, a few episodes ago when we first came to Casa de la Vino, that doesn't even make any
Casa de
lyrics.
la Vino. That's the house of wine.
When we came to Mike's house, we said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make a playlist. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back and pick a song from everything that we've ever done. We are currently doing that, and we encourage you to go on Spotify. If you don't have it, it is free to download. It's a cool app on your phone. You can get it on your desktop, your laptop, whatever you got. You can search me. Search J, that is Jae Smith. If you need help to spell that, no. And in my playlists, there is a playlist entitled The Wednesday Night Whiskey Committee. And what you can do is, at this point, there is over, I believe, 24 hours of music. I might need verification.
That's
on
a
that.
whole day. That's
You-
awesome.
You can listen to our playlist over a complete day.
Right. That's awesome.
So with that, you go to my Spotify account. If you go on Google and type in the Wednesday Night Whiskey Committee on Spotify, it pops up. I guarantee you it does. You can listen to a sample of what are we listening to this week, and it's kind of cool. So, who wants to go first?
We know who yours is. Just you go first.
Fine. God.
Jay,
I'm feeling this. Come on, just go.
Oh, that was pretty deep. This week, what I've been listening to over the last 2 or 3 days, I've been
we know.
revisiting some you dump weeds.
Real nice.
Thanks.
Listen, my Cheshire cat's listening. So cool.
I've been revisiting some of my my high school adolescence and getting into a band again that I have fallen away from a little bit. But this week, my choice is a staple of mine, which is Blink-182. The album is Dude Ranch, and the song that I'm picking for the playlist this week is Apple Shampoo.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorites.
That's a close personal one for me that helped me a lot in high school. Just lyrical content. You got the line that sticks out the most is when he says, "I'm a walk-on part for a movie that I'm not in." And in high school, I really, really felt that.
Would it surprise you if I told you I knew absolutely jack shit about Blink-182?
It would not surprise me at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because in the same essence of you know absolutely nothing about Blink-182, I said to Lucas today, who I would have felt.
Right.
Side note: Lucas is a guy that we work with who is.
Let's toast Lucas.
Let's toast Lucas.
He's not old
He
enough
has
to
cool
drink.
commentary.
He is old enough to drink.
He is.
We actually had a quasi. I don't want to say it was a committee meeting, but we partook with the young man last evening.
Yeah.
Pulled him under the wing a little bit.
And he knows what the boys in blue are about. That's for damn
Am I
sure.
getting moved out of the committee? Is that what you mean?
Absolutely not.
No.
Ever.
Ever. But I said, "You like Blink-182, right?" And he was like, "Well, you know, they're popular stuff." And I went, "Oh, okay, you're young."
You're one of them.
So you're one of them
I'm not one of them.
because you're on the older end of the spectrum.
Dude, let me tell you something.
Am I about to get
You're
shot?
about to get shot. Anytime somebody says that they know shit because it's their popular shit, that is totally not the shit I'm gonna know.
Right. But yeah, that was always and stupid trivia. Blink-182's Dude Ranch album and their next album, Enema of the State, which was kind of their breakout,
Right.
the big breakout album for them. Those were the first two albums I learned back to back to play bass with.
I just want to know who introduced Tom DeLonge to reverb.
So good. I sent him a picture last night. I was watching a concert on YouTube, and someone said that. They're like, whoever introduced Tom DeLonge to reverb needs to take a hard look at themselves in the mirror.
I do have to say this. I, as a gear nerd, a little bit. I'm not as much of a gear nerd as I
You're
used
really
to be.
not.
In fact, I think
You know your tech talk,
right.
but when it comes to am I a gear nerd, you like what you like and you stay in that wheelhouse.
I do, and the other thing is I kind of pride myself on the fact that, like, given a certain parameter of quality, I'll make anything work.
Right.
Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I gotta have this shit, you know what I mean? But I do have to say this. I have to thank Tom DeLonge because I'm 99.9% sure that it was him that got Gibson to reintroduce the Dirty Finger. And I do love my Dirty Finger. years. So I'm gonna give him kudos for that.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom. And what's up with your disclosure shit? Like, let's hear about that.
What?
His disclosure.
Oh, yeah. Well, did you see the thing? I actually stole it from that concert. I said 6. If you want to, here's how to play like Tom DeLonge live.
Right.
And number 6 was Get Bored Non-Aliens.
That's hilarious.
Mikey.
I am listening to a band that has a new release coming out. I believe it's coming out this month.
I had no idea Def haven't had it.
They have. I can't wait to go see them live and never. The band is Me Without You, all one word. One of my favorite bands of all time.
What is it again?
Me Without You. Yeah, they're super good. I've been listening to the album Catch for Us the Foxes, but I'm gonna, for the playlist, add the new song that dropped on Spotify from the new album. It's called Another Head for Hydra, which is the title of the album as well.
Do you think you could say the word new again?
No,
Thanks.
not gonna happen.
All right.
So,
What's the song?
Another Head for Hydra.
Oh, what's the album?
Another Head for Hydra.
Oh, double. Okay, times
What's
2.
that album?
It's the new album. It's really kind of back to their heavier roots. They started very heavy. They kind of transitioned into more of a folk band. They're Christian based.
Okay.
So the lead singer has a lot of his lyrics are heavily like metaphorical into
Right.
Christianity. And they went very folk sounding in their album It's All Crazy, It's All a Dream, It's All False, whatever. And then from there they kind of ramped it back up to a little heavier, kind of back to where they were. And this one's almost back to where they were at the start.
But not quite as heavy, or like
Borderline.
Okay.
And I have listened to a few of these songs on the album. I'm done. That's it.
Dude, you can't let that
Sit
out
down.
pass.
God.
Check that one out if you are into good music.
Who?
So then it's heavy again.
It's heavy again. It's good. I dig it.
Thank goodness. Welcome back, Me Without You.
Although
Jason.
I did love the folk album. I did.
Well, see, that's pretty awesome when a band can do. I mean, some of the bands I listen to show a pretty broad range of everything from folk to as heavy as it gets. And
Right.
that's great. You know what I mean? Like, that's a really good thing when a band can do.
I would literally kill if Opeth went back to Death Growls. I would kill for that. Because their last 2 releases have had 0 Death Growls.
Right.
Is the album that you play a lot at the shop one of those 2 albums? Yeah. Okay.
But the only thing that makes you want to do that is the fact that they moved away from it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Of course.
you know, it's kind of cool. If they had been death growling the whole time, you might be kind of like, wow, I wish they'd do something different.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
course.
kind of cool. Yeah.
Very awesome. Jason.
For the first time, I think possibly in ever, I'm not going to give an album.
What?
Yeah, I've just been sort of listening to assorted playlists.
Okay.
Well,
in that case, I will take whatever the song is and just post that.
Right.
Okay.
I have been going absolutely insane listening to.
No, please.
Clown
Please,
Posse.
God, no.
Clown Posse.
No, God.
Kick the Fago.
God, no. God, no.
Hold your Fago.
Whoop,
No.
whoop.
Hold your finger.
Hold my axe.
I have been listening to a shit ton of Tedeschi Trucks Band.
Okay.
And I just want to say one thing before saying anything else. Derek Trucks, I hate that guy.
I put Tedeschi Drunks.
Tedeschi Drunks Band, yeah.
Trucks. I know what it is.
I hate that guy. I mean, he can't play guitar for shit. He just sucks.
Here's a little backstory. If anyone who has ever learned how to play guitar, you know how frustrating it is. Derek Trucks gets in the Allman Brothers and says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tune my guitar in D standard. Is it open D? Open D. Which, if you don't know what that means, get a book.
Right.
And reteach himself guitar entirely to play in open D.
Here's the thing about Derek Trucks. I hate that guy. Now,
He's up there with Gary Moore, isn't he?
he is. He really, really is.
I hate that guy.
As much as I hate him, yeah. Here's the thing. Like, Dwayne Allman, like, I can't even talk about Dwayne Allman, how inspirational and influential that dude has been on my life.
Right.
And, I mean, dude died, I think, at 24 after reinventing and just completely taking the art of slide guitar to a level that had never been achieved. And what's that? Talk a little honor. And so dude died with an unfulfilled legacy. You know, Dwayne Allman died with an unfulfilled legacy. Derek Trucks took that, when he finally got in that band, he took that legacy and he inherited it, and he did something with it that I think Dwayne would have been really super proud of.
Mm-hmm.
And he took it in a direction that I don't particularly know if Dwayne would have gone in that exact direction, but he took that legacy somewhere. You know what I mean? And took it to the next level.
Right.
And he's going to leave it there. And I think that's an amazing thing. And Susan Tedeschi, I mean, my God, her voice is just amazing.
Mm-hmm. She's fantastic.
She's absolutely fantastic. I saw her open up for Buddy Guy one time, and she almost stole the show. It's pretty hard to steal the show from Buddy Guy.
Yeah. Big shoes.
Yeah, big shoes. Anyways, I've been listening to a lot of Tedeschi Trucks. Their music is just absolutely fantastic. And it's just laden with soulfulness and grace. And the song that I have been listening to mostly, there's an awful lot of honorable mentions I could make. Their version of Keep On Growing kicks ass and all kinds of stuff, but there's this one live version of a song called Midnight in Harlem. And it's not the E-Town version. It's a live one, and it's a pretty big show. And the reason I'm picking that one is because Derek's solo in it is just, I don't know. I mean, if I could ever play anything half as soulful, I might be willing to say I'm done. You know what I mean? Like he just nails it to the point where he reaches into every note. There's not one wasted note. There's not 1 second that he's just digging in there with it's not the most technical solo you ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
It's a slide solo, but he hits it so hard as far as every note has the most amazing amount of feeling that, yeah, man, I mean, it's just, it kills me. So that's what I've been listening to. And if you can find that particular version,
I will look for that for sure for the podcast or the playlist. If I can't, then they'll get the cans. Yeah, they'll get the version of it anyway.
Whatever they get won't be bad.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so that's what I've been listening to.
Well, gentlemen, I think that effectively puts a cork in this episode.
I think it puts a quirk.
A quirk?
A quirk in the episode.
Quark in the episode.
Quark.
We really appreciate you guys tuning in this week, especially those of you at home who are joining in for the first time to watch us do this. Those of you at home who are watching are going to get a little extra bonus footage after the episode stops before we hit the cancel button. But we really do...
Elliot.
We really do appreciate you tuning in every week. I've been watching the meter of the whole show. While it hasn't been a very high number, there have been people watching the entire episode. So we really do appreciate that.
We do.
And again, those of you who are just simply listening on your podcast app, thank you. It really does mean a lot for us 31 episodes later to have you.
It's really about quality, not quantity.
Right. From day one to day 275, thank you very much for being here. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. With that, I am Jay.
I am Jason.
I am Michael.
And we are the Wednesday Night Whiskey Committee. Please listen responsibly. That's a wrap, boys.
I'm out of that swill. I have no more swill left.
Swilly.
I didn't change it.
Now, this is bonus footage for you guys at home. The official episode has completely ended. Mikey's going to start doing the saving procedure and mixing, not the mixing, but the saving. I got to stand up.
He's going to do it again.
Oh, look at my crotch. Oh, look at my Ewan McGregor.
Oh, look at my Ewan McGregor.
Looks like an orange on a toothpick.
Why did you say that? Oh my God.
I don't know.
Look at my Ewan McGregor.
Oh, Mikey's down.
We've got the Piper down.
Don't get back injections. They fucking suck.
Oh my God, we've got a Piper down.
Oh boy. Good times.
Look at my Ewan. That's like the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Is someone gonna stop the live feed?
I don't know how to. I'm saving audio projects.
How do you do that?
You put the mouse over top the stop feed. All right, here comes the awkward moment where we all get close to the camera.
I'm waving.
So, what you want to do? Hi. You want to look at it. Look away. Look away, child. Look away. Come over here and you click end stream.
Wait, hold on.
You want to end it?
Yeah.
Bye. You wrong clicked it. There you go.
Oh, not yet.
Yeah, click end. Goodbye.
Look at my Ewan McGregor.